Come back to that. But it is much more lenient than the Catholic position of Christian. It is much more lenient. I would not overturn Roe v. Wade, period. The last thing America needs is a cultural war over abortion for the next 4 decades as we've had for the past one. In fact, I believe that the social sexual obsession on the part of some of the Republican Party and some of the Democratic Party over abortion, gay marriage, and contraception is diverting us from the core issue of discussing real family values, like reducing the divorce rate, which is at 50%, and not a child divorce. I would much rather go through legislation making marital counseling tax deductible for couples in crisis so that we can end the scourge of divorce and continue to fight about abortion. No one who's pro-choice, or no one who is pro-life wants abortions. The best way that we deal with abortion is to focus on saving the institution of marriage. The Good Monger Institute showed that 85% of all abortions take place outside of marriage. We have created a culture based on values, and values means that men respect women. That men do not look at a woman as an erotic plaything. They don't impregnate them and leave them so that they are left with this difficult decision. We have to create a culture, and every community has its own challenges. You know, I thank God that a lifelong, loving relationship with the African American community. Many of you know that Mayor Cory Booker is a very dear friend. I took Reverend Al Sharpton to Israel. I was the first white radio host of WWRL, the Legacy Black radio station here in New York, etc., etc. The African American community is distinguished by its incredible families, its incredible faith, and its capacity for forgiveness. But we also have an issue in the African American community that 75% have a birth rate, Latino community 60%, Caucasian community 40%. What we need to do is obviate the choice for an abortion by allowing women to feel that they are respected by women and cultivating a culture of marital commitment, steadfast marital commitment. You know why we're not doing that? Because many people in the Republican Party, most of the Republican Party, are getting us to obsess over gay marriage, abortion, and contraception. I don't want to talk about gay marriage. We can't answer this question. I want to talk about the breakdown of heterosexual marriage. The street people come to gays and say, you are destroying marriage. And I look at that, I look at us straight people and I say, we've done a fine job of destroying the institution of marriage ourselves, thank you very much. The Republican Party must be a party where women feel that these choices are theirs. Thank you very much.
I find much of what Rabbi has said, I would agree with much of it. I have fought every day since I've been in the Congress to protect Roe versus Wade. I certainly have not moved on in lockstep. Although I received the endorsement last year, NARO, Planned Parenthood, anybody who knows me knows I never rest on any laurels or endorsements. They're like signs that don't vote. People vote. My position about equity, though, is just as important. And that is, not only do we talk about women with regards of reproduction, I want to talk really at that. The first piece of legislation that the President of the United States put forward to the Congress was not on abortion or minimizing the rights of women to protect their own bodies and decide what their future would be. Is legislation. Equal pay and equal treatment for women. And I've devoted my entire life both in the state legislature and as a congressman for that end. And it was a long fight, but it was successful. And we came together on critical issues. And I think they are important for all of us. Pay and treatment. But you failed to mention that the Affordable Care Act brought the same kind of equity into health care. Why should a woman have her insurance cost more, health insurance, than a man? And with the Affordable Health Care Act, and by the way, when Republicans and Republican candidates say, there are some things I like about the Affordable Health Care Act. Where is your bill? Day in and day out, people are dying because they don't have coverage of health care in this country. That's what's happening, that's the facts. equity is important. Not only pay equity, not only a woman having control over her body, but a woman dealing with the everyday issues of health care for herself and her family. Look, the Affordable Health Care Act isn't a perfect bill. We've never passed a perfect bill. Only God's perfect. We both agree on that, I think. But we could not sustain any longer the healthcare system that exists. 60% of small businesses went out, shut down because of healthcare costs, and we needed to address that. So, women are not only involved in the subject of reproductive, they are absolutely moving in the right direction because we've become a little bit more sane on the subject. In pay, in health treatment, in health insurance, these are big issues every day. And if you sat in my office and heard the constituents that come in, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. And I hope I have time, Dan, through the rest of the debate to talk about some of those cases, to see what we do respond to day in and day out. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank God there are things we do agree on. My friends, of course Congressman Pascrell is correct that there are good things about President Obama's Health Care Act. There are good things in both parties. That's why you have two parties. We don't live in China. We don't live in Russia. We don't want a one-party state. But the problem in America is not Democrats and it's not Republicans. It's Democrats and Republicans that won't talk to each other. That's why I'm the only person here who's been critical of my party in this debate. And I will continue to be when they're wrong. Because you are sending an individual to Congress. Now, when it comes to the Affordable Health Care Act, and I accept what you're saying, Congressman Pascrell. The Republicans must put forward a plan, and some have, and some haven't. But the problem with the plan as it stands is that the taxation is just too high. My friends, you live in New Jersey. We know about taxes. Congressman Pascrell, you say on your website that you're the fighter for the middle class. But all these taxes have done is lead to the flight of the middle class. There used to be 15 congressional seats in New Jersey. Then there were 14, 13. The reason why you had such a nasty primary with Congressman Rothman was because we lost another congressional seat. People are leaving because of all the taxes. They're voting with their feet. And as President Kennedy so famously said, when you have a dispute between two systems and you're not sure who's telling the truth, what did President Kennedy say in Berlin in 1963 in front of the town hall? He said, we never had to know all to keep our people in. New Jersey's losing people, we gotta bring the taxes down.
I think maybe before I continue to go back and forth, I'm going to take my prerogative and move on to another topic. Again, I think, Congressman, it's your turn to go next. And the question is, faced with the threat of Iran armed with nuclear weapons, what do you think the United States policy should be, and how, if at all, does it differ from that of the current administration?
Iran is a great threat. As far as I am concerned, and I've stated this publicly, nothing is off the table. I fought in Congress for the toughest sanctions possible. There cannot be any equivocation. And it seems in the past 3 months that they have had an effect on those Ayatollahs and the leadership of Iran. And I want those sanctions to be even tougher. Because Iran is not only a threat, and is a threat to Israel, it is also a threat to the entire Middle East and